All right, let's do one more.
I would say I like these. Let's do one more for sure.
And I want us to note, right, that we're hearing each other, and so it's our responsibility as friends to follow up with each other in these spaces.
So, if you heard each other, what would we say? Because I wrote it down. What'd I say?
Because greatness takes notes.
Yeah, what'd I say, though?
God, the test.
You said it's continue with your finances.
And what else? Yeah,
that's all I heard was finance.
That's accountability. That's what I'm talking about. I said finance and physical. My physical, I want
physical. Oh, you got to work out. But listen, you already know what can happen on Saturday morning if you want to pull up.
One time. I'm here. What else? So no, hold on. So Sean,
finish recording, I'm going to work out.
Sean, what did
No, we're not doing the round robin with everybody, bro. Because because Yusha was the one that said that. Two, because we need to move on. Because we need to move on for the next one.
Mother's son, but you're my mother's son. Cause though your mother has sons, she got other sons. All your brothers call me brother, I'm the other one. And you showed up to be a brother, but I wanted one.
What we all needed is more than just a podcast.
It's a community of strong individuals connected on the basis of friendship,
transparency, accountability, healing, and growth. Come join the conversation and share in the space that makes us all better.
Our hope is that you find something that you need.
Real friends. Real friends. Where would I be without my Hey son, who gon' ride for me like my day one?
What's up, good people? We are back for another episode. This is Yusha Assad, intuitive leader, sent to elevate the condition of my people. You already know what it is, whether it's speaking, teaching, coaching, training, or performing. I've been given a mission, and I'm going to use that to help my people work and win with great care.
So, folks, Colin_DCLA, dope educator by day, and I throw dope events at night. Entertainment producer, collaborator, all the things, most importantly, husband, father, follower of Jesus Christ. Who else we got here?
What it do? Guess it's me now. It's next, man. This is your boy Ali, a.k.a. At the Noble One, the kingdom builder and the culture cultivator, which means most importantly, man, I'm a husband and a father of two beautiful daughters. I'm a real estate investor, an investor in general, and by day, I'm an accountant. Love y'all good people, man. We got next.
Yo, this is half amazing. Sean Nichols Sr., truth teller, but never beyond approach or reproach. I am a proud husband, father of 4, licensed minister, a lover of God, but more than anything, just a lover of life. We're gonna go ahead and roll into our icebreaker for the day, if that's okay. Is that okay with you guys?
Let's get it.
All right, cool. All right. So we're gonna do this is the icebreaker. We're gonna do A or B, either or. That's why it's called this or that. I'm gonna count down 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna ask the question. After the countdown, please put up your answer. So it's going to go, just as an example, I'm going to say Diddy or Colin.
Hey, dog.
Sorry, all right. So we going. Hey, you said you were entertainer at night, bro. But anyway.
I said entertainment producer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hey, Colin. If we take us back to an earlier episode, was we right?
Hey, we'll see when sentencing comes around. Actually, I was thinking about that full circle moment. We made some predictions early in the game.
Man, you said he wasn't going to get off. That's what you said.
Who?
No, you said he was going to get off. And I said he wasn't going to get off. I know.
Yeah.
Let's say it. Let's say what it is. So when it come out, it is what it is.
I definitely said he was going to get off. And the reason why I said because the nigga been a monster for 30 years. He's been a monster for 30 years. Like, at this point, somebody letting him play the game.
And I said, y'all niggas don't trust the justice system. And here we go.
I don't. Regardless of the outcome of this, I do not trust the justice system in America. Hell no. But But we shall see. By the time this episode comes out, we'll probably know who was right and who was wrong.
And I still stand on the reality that regardless of what the justice system decides for his fate, that his fate has already been decided by the court of public opinion within our culture. And so he done for. But hey, much love and respect to him and his family, though.
Black people are so forgiving. They ain't gonna let them go.
I'm about to say, I don't know, man. There's people outside the courthouse pouring baby oil on each other, dog. Happy that he was getting off.
Plus, we live in America, bro. The way black people have forgiven white people, y'all mean to tell me you can't forgive Diddy?
Oh, man, I used to think we could, but the way we treating R. Kelly, man, it's like you can't. You get in trouble listening to R. Kelly now. So
well, I don't disagree with either one of them getting treated the way they do, but I just like if you go, that's a lot of unforgiveness for black people when we still sucking ass on white America.
Oh no, that's true.
All right, so we're gonna jump into this.
I'm like, listen, all right, game.
We're gonna jump into this and that. All right, so first question: change behavior or explain behavior? Change behavior or explain behavior? 3, 2, 1.
That was tough.
All right, so we have 3 that decide to change behavior, and then we have 1 Yusha that decide to explain behavior. I can't say that I'm not surprised with that. So, did anybody want to say anything, or we go roll into the next one?
No, I really didn't want to pick either one of them, to be honest with you. Be changing my behavior or explaining my behavior really depends, but I know we can't do that. So,
I ain't even think about it like that. I thought about it from the other way around. Like, do I want somebody to change their behavior, or do I want an explanation of the behavior? And all I could think about was like, you can't make nobody change. So at least if I can understand why they move the way they move.
Yeah. Well, that was a good perspective. I would say for these though, if you could think introspectively about yourself.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking about myself.
Thanks for the context, brethren.
Next one is take.
Wait, what you mean you would have expected me not to change?
I mean, yeah, that's not surprising to me because you like to talk and you also like to explain a lot of. Yeah, so that's
not surprising to me because you like to be understood. That's how I took it when you said it. Like you want to be understood. Your intentions to be understood.
Yeah, it ain't nothing bad. I mean, we friends. We know each other, bro. Listen,
we're gonna circle the block on that later.
Take criticism well, or take praise well. Take criticism well, or take praise well. 3, 2, 1. All right. We have 3 A's again, and then we have 1 B, which is Yusha. Again, I'm not surprised. It makes sense.
We know I don't like criticism for anybody. I don't like to get it. I don't like to give it. You can tell me your truth, but don't criticize me. I don't like criticism.
Next one. Forgive and reconnect, or forgive and release. Forgive and reconnect, or forgive and release. 3, 2, 1.
I know what Sean picking. Yep. He'll be upside down.
All right, so we got 2 A's, Yusha and Colin, and then 2 B's, myself and Ali. Again, I can't say that I'm surprised because I know myself, I know my friends.
I knew you was about to be like, kick him to the curb. Forgive me from over there.
Well, yes, right, but it's not necessarily kick them to the curb. It's more so, and I had to, as I was thinking about it, I had to even think about the relationships that I retained while I was forgiving. It does not necessarily mean that we have to be in the same space, right? Because For me to forgive, that means that there was an obvious offense that occurred. And so we mature from that, right? But I release whatever it is that I've forgiven you, which does not necessarily mean that we have to be the exact same moving forward. We actually might even be a lot better with that change.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't talking about that. I was just talking about when I forgive, I release whatever it is I forgive about. I don't trip about it. I just
Oh, you want to talk about the person? Okay.
Respect. Next one. Emotional healing or mental clarity. Emotional healing or mental clarity. 3, 2, 1. All right, we have 2 A's and then 2 B's. The A's, Yusha and Ali. The B's, Colin and myself. I can't say that I am, bruh. I wish I would have wrote down what I would have thought that.
I wish you would have, because you keep saying this shit. I can't wait till we can figure out how you knew what all of us are saying.
I mean, hey, I'm your friend, bro. Do you call me or do you really know me? All right, so next one.
Yes.
Own the mistake or explain your intention. Own your mistake or explain the intention. 3, 2, 1. Look.
No stuff.
Look, so we have 3 A's, myself, Colin, and you, and Ali, and then we have a flip-flop, which is usually
Flip-flop is crazy.
Look, which I wish that I would have wrote it down, bruh, because I knew that Yusha was going to do that.
Right.
I agree with him.
Hey, let's do this. On the next this
own your mistake, but then you'd be like, but I hear what you're saying, and I didn't mean to do that. Then you explain what your true intention is so that y'all can get understanding, because 9 times out of 10 it's a miscommunication thing. You own the mistake first, then you explain. It's the process.
Hey, Sean, predict the next one.
All right.
What's the prediction?
All right. I predict for this one that there is going to be.
You could just say something.
I predict that there is going to be a 3-to-1 split.
Okay. That's good enough.
All right. Overshare or undershare. Overshare or undershare.
Ooh.
3, 2, 1.
Come on, Yusha. Hey, wow. Hey, Sean was right. 3-to-1.
Was it the 3-to-1 you expected?
It was not the 3-to-1 that I expected. However, it is the 3-to-1 though.
It is.
But I'll do it again. All right. The next one.
This feels like gambling now.
The next one. I predict that this is going to also be a 3-to-1 split. The next one is celebrate small wins or wait for big milestones. Celebrate small wins or wait for big milestones. 3, 2, 1. So I was wrong. I thought that Ali was going to pick celebrate small wins. Okay.
Ways to be.
50-50 split.
If you'd asked me last week, it would have been a.
He just came off that Juneteenth celebration. Ain't no celebrating
it's about the finances and the work I've been telling y'all. It's about delayed gratification now.
Respect.
I was thinking about it in terms of like training yourself to move in a certain type of way, and then acknowledging the small changes you've made so that you can keep going.
For sure.
I'm also thinking about like as a father too, how I like to move as a father. I do like to celebrate the small wins because that gives motivation to the big ones.
Last one. This is going to be unanimous.
Mm.
Push through discomfort or pause and reassess. Push through discomfort or pause and reassess. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, you surprised me, Colin.
I messed it up. I was gonna pick A, but
well, look, hey, so look, I
new
was right.
season.
If you was gonna pick A, I was right.
Oh,
and look,
I should never said that.
because I know you all, I know that we all do the same thing where we push through discomfort, which allows us to excel and succeed in a lot of areas and may be good when the space calls for that, but it also brings forth detriment. And I've seen it happen with all of us. And the most recent was Ali experiencing back pain and not resting, but he's pushing through because he's hosting his cookout.
Yeah. That's why I'm growing to learn to like take a beat sometime. Like, hey, sometimes you need to just like take a break, bro. Just slow down and assess before you do that.
I do both, for real. And I'm learning to do both. I'm learning to practice that's more.
Right.
Yeah. So this, hey Sean, thank you for the this and that, man, because they really speak to the episode, right? Which is all about our friendship. And seemingly, you know everything about us and our friendship. We're gonna dive into that, Mr. Cleo the second.
Hey yo.
Hey, but nah, real talk, man. This is part 2 of a series. And I think it's really important if you ever think about this, right? If you ever had a friend that you really fuck with, and then all of a sudden y'all didn't become friends, right? All of a sudden your friendship just dropped out of nowhere. Somebody you was talking to, and then all of a sudden you wasn't talking to them no more, and then you be like, yo, like why you don't even know, right? You have no clue why the friendship may have dropped. And what I want to say to us is, man, we didn't wait till it got to that part. We introduced a dear friend of ours by the name of Heath, who came in and challenged our friendship. He presented some questions. He presented some real thought-provoking ideas, and asked us what we needed from each other in order for our friendship to elevate. As a result of that, man, we got into some really heavy, thick conversations that tested our friendship, right? That almost put us in a space where our friendship probably could have ended in a way where nobody knew why, right? Where people wasn't going to talk about it. And I'm thankful for Heath and challenging us that, because it brought us to part 2, which basically at the end of the day made us realize we need to get back to the basics, right? We needed to get back to these Saturday morning conversations with each other, tapping in with each other, not really poking at each other, really just trying to figure out what's really going on in our lives right now. And so I'm really thankful for part 2, man. I don't know what y'all got from part 1, but that's what I got from it. Yo, what else did y'all get from it?
Yeah, I mean, I got a whole lot from the conversation, and I greatly appreciate it. I think there is great value in bringing in somebody that is not necessarily a part of this inner circle, but it's close enough in proximity to be able to kind of like see from different perspectives, maybe even things like blind spots that we don't see, or maybe able to shed light, shine light on areas that need illumination, right? That we have had in the dark because we've been focused on other things. So, I mean, I find extreme value in that. We did leave off with some homework. And the homework from our brother Heath was, what do you need in this space? And how are we going to provide that to each other? Yusha needs trust. Ali needs us to listen. Colin needs collaboration. And I need respect. So do we want to dive into that a little bit more to I guess maybe readdress how we got to that point?
I mean, yeah, for me, and if I think what's important to me with the homework assignment is not even just to reassess the how, but to make sure that we all really understand, which I feel like I do, but just in case I don't or one of us don't, like to make sure we understand what the four of us mean by that, so we can then figure out how ways we're gonna provide that to each other, you know. And I agree, like my takeaway from that conversation with Heath was like he just laid some foundational frameworks for some stuff that we need to dig into, and then we'll see what happens from there. Now, he may have a different opinion. We've talked about this offline, but you know, it did, like immediately after episode part 1, like we had some heated conversations, right? So it did almost create this recipe for some potential like turmoil between us. But I saw that as like a kind of all things working for the good thing, like some necessary things that we needed to get out and release and get past, you know, in order to get where we are. But let me give a quick example. So like Yusha says he needs trust. So what I hear by that is like, you know, whenever there's an opportunity for me to like not question him or just be like, you know what, like I just take your word, I'm gonna just trust, I'm gonna just roll with it. Like that's how I'm gonna try to provide that for Yusha. Like, so I don't know if that's what he meant by that, but like that's a way that I think I could show him more trust, especially even in this space, especially, but in any space, like, bro, I'm gonna take your word. I'm gonna do it your way. You know, even if I don't see it.
Well, man, Sean got put his thing on do not disturb.
Right there. But would that understanding fit like what you're looking for, Yusha?
Nah, trust is more about like if I bring something, especially in the role that I was in, right? And it was really in reference. It was really in reference to me being a content. What was my role?
Hey,
Creative
real quick, Sean.
director.
Real quick, Sean. Colin gave an explanation, and you should disagree with his explanation on trust. So he's explained.
Greatly appreciated.
Oh yeah, so it wasn't necessarily just go with it without questioning it, but it's more of like take what I'm bringing to the table seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like at least take it seriously and really stop and evaluate it without quick delineations or quick deliberations on what you're gonna do with it. Right? Don't put it to the side. If I'm bringing a relationship or opportunity to the table for us to like collaborate or work with somebody else, or I think this is a great idea, you know, let's not push that to the side and it be 2 months before we look at it or say no to it really quickly without really evaluating what it could do for us long term.
I got you. So the
Can I ask?
a no is not the problem. The issue is when you feel like it wasn't even considered.
Right, especially if we end up coming back to it. Because if we end up coming back to it and doing it anyway, then it feels like that a stronger evaluation could have been done up front.
Can I ask a question? Damn, you should. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
All right. So we are friends, right? But even within friendships, do you personally feel that trust is something that is earned or deserved?
I like that question. That could be an A or B question. I start off trusting people. People don't have to earn trust with me. I trust people, and then I let them show me whether I should take that away over time. But I know other people are different. Other people say, I don't trust nobody. You got to earn trust over here.
So what I'm hearing is grace, because I'm hearing that's not even deserved either. I'm hearing that you provide grace in that space.
Yeah, I give a lot of grace, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I respect that and I appreciate that. The reason why I'm asking is because I actually have been tuning into a leadership podcast a lot recently by Craig Rochelle, and he broke trust down to an equation. He said trust equals transparency plus empathy plus consistency, right? And so specifically with leaders, if you are leading a group of individuals and you want to garner trust, that is what you need to focus on, is those three areas and making sure that those three areas stay intact, right?
What are those again?
Huh?
What were those again?
It's transparency, empathy, and consistency, right? But what he did say, though, in addition to that, is for those who need to be able to trust, a way to do that is to just dive into the pool, right? Essentially, just the way that you begin to trust is simply just to trust. And so what you just spoke to, in my opinion, is directly correlated to that in providing grace enough to provide that trust initially. So I respect.
All right. So Ali, yours was listen, right? So what I think I'm gonna do to provide that more to you, correct me if I'm just, this is good because I want to make sure I'm even giving y'all what y'all asking for. I think we've uncovered by now, you know, whether you agree or not, Ali, that you are you think out loud, and that sometimes, I know it may seem very plain and simple in your mind, but it may come off a little deep, a little eclectic, and you gotta let it marinate a little bit more before you're like, now I understand what he was saying, right? So I think sometimes it's not listening. It's just I need to be more patient and take more time to digest what it is you're saying. So what I'm trying to do is just like when you're talking, I'm gonna just listen for it until you finish, and then if I'm still not clear, instead of me making a decision based on what I think you are saying, I'm gonna ask you questions to try to lead me to what it is you're actually saying. Would that be providing you the listening that you're looking for?
That is spot on. That's on the right track for sure. I have recognized that although I come off simple, my brain and even my movement is complex. I used to think that it was intentional, but it's really not. It's just who I am. And so with that, I do recognize that I have to be a lot more clear in my movement and in my words. Yes. And then on the other side of it is, even if I am more clear and I do realize that, to your point, right? This how I'm putting things together is still complex in itself, and I do need people to listen and take time, because even as a director, and how I direct, I tell my team it's gonna seem chaotic, but there's meaning and there's substance in the chaos, right? And at the end of it, you're gonna be like, oh wow. I let them know, because I do realize that. So to your point, Colin, yeah, that's spot on for sure.
All right, bet. Trying to make sure we hitting on all angles, man.
Are we gonna go back on this stuff? Because I got some things that I want to tap back on the trust part.
Yeah, go. I just trying to make sure we got to understand them all four before you move on.
No, so and I thank Sean for saying, like, giving definition of what trust is, and I do think even when you're in a relationship with somebody, you like somebody, you almost just gotta trust that, and I even talked about it yesterday, right? You just gotta dive 2 feet in and just see where it's gonna take you and navigate it, right? And so I thank you for that, Sean, because at first, I was initially pushing back on that, because I heard what you should said, and sometimes for me, in order for me, and I think maybe it's because I'm an accountant and I think of it in investments, right? In order for me to buy into an investment or to a thought, right, I need data. I need some information. I need a little bit more before I just say, yeah, that's how I'm going to buy and invest. And not every situation calls for that, right? Not every situation calls for that. But I do want to say this, because there is duality in what we need, right? There's duality when someone says, I need this. The offset is where the other person has to come 50-50, right? And so, I'm just telling you straight up, sometimes, right, in order for me to buy into a thought or an idea, I do need a little bit more substance and a little more data, a little more presentation, a little more, because in order for me, and then I thought about this. I was like, well, why do we, to your point, some point, right, we do come back to what you said, but why is that? And maybe it's because it wasn't presented well in the beginning, and we just somehow walked ourselves through it and got back to it. So,
yeah, that's exactly why I said what I said from a leadership standpoint, but then also from the person that's being led standpoint, right? Because I think that there is value in both to then find alignment.
yeah.
For any of us to be able to trust someone, we have to give the grace and to jump in the pool with providing the trust. And that's how we get closer to alignment.
Yeah.
However, from the other end, for the person that's being led, even if it's not that definition, they have to be anchored to some kind of value that is going to bring them to alignment. Because if they're not focused on how they lead, they're not focused on the alignment and maintaining that trust.
And the grace in this, to your point about that, like to get to alignment, this is new, right? Right. And so I know there's going to be a point where I'm not going to need no data, right? I'm not going to need all of what I just said, because it's been over time that it's been very clear that I can trust this person. Just like if you're in a relationship with your significant other, after a while, she's not going to question your movement. She's just going to trust the fact that you got it. So,
well, yeah, all I'm hearing is what comes first, the chicken or the egg, because you need the chicken and the egg, at some point, but one of them got to start, you know what I'm saying? So I guess that's where the grace comes in, like, so that you can get that ball rolling. All right, so Sean, yours, I'm gonna be honest, for me was the most unclear, not in that, like, what you're asking for is super confusing, but I couldn't decide, like, is it about respect or is it about listening to what he said? Because the example you gave, and I won't go into too much detail because I think that was on Patreon, so y'all gotta support us for that. But the example you gave was related to, like, hey, when I say something, like, I need y'all to like hear me and like don't just ignore it like it's not a thing, and then come around and like, yeah, I should have listened to me type thing, right? But I wrote respect because it seemed like it was a lot of stuff related to respect, but I don't know, was it just being respected or being valued in what you're saying? Like, can you just clear it up, because I'm not sure how to show up for what you were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it is respecting what it is that I communicate clearly. And the example is, an example is, I have reached my capacity, right? So if we're talking about something that requires work, and I say that I reach my capacity, and here is why. Maybe because I have something going on with my family, maybe because I have something going on personally, internally, so on and so forth. I need that to be respected because I'm actually communicating that as a friend, right? Or maybe even as a business partner, to say, here, I have reached my capacity. If you add any more load to me, I'm liable to break. But a lot of times, and in all aspects of our life, to some degree, we may all be looked at as the strong friend, quote unquote, right? Mm-hmm. But the reality of it is that I'm the strong friend. I'm the one that's always calling and checking in on somebody. I'm the one that remembers the milestone dates. I'm the one that, if we have a conversation, even if it's the littlest thing, I'll call you in 2 or 3 days to double back, to check in on that thing. I don't get that a lot of times, right? But I say that to say that there are so many things that are, as we continue to grow and evolve as men, we're going to hit certain seasons in our life where we just have to be transparent with where we are and what our capacity is. And I believe that in this space, I have been communicating that effectively. I don't know if that has always been respected all the time, especially because I have always been the strong friend. I'm the one that executes. I'm the one that if I say that I'm going to do something, you don't really have to check in with me because I'm going to knock it out. What I think that the detriment that has come with that, and this is even outside of this space, just in life, is that as you continue to do and as you continue to do effectively, people look at you and label you as that and continuing to pile on more and more and more. I'm a human being at the end of the day, bro. You know what I mean? I don't want to show up as a project manager in every facet of my life. I want a place where I can vent. I want a place where I can emote. I want a place where I can laugh and where I can show up and show my personable side. So if I'm communicating that to you guys, I need that to be respected. Don't just blow past that.
I got you. So it's not just respect, it's respect what you clearly communicate.
Respect yes, absolutely. What I clearly communicate, because I am in a space and I've been in a space for quite some time now where I have found strength in transparency, and in me being transparent, I've also been able to effectively refine my communication skills, right? When I really, really apply it.
Yeah.
And so I do feel that I have the ability to effectively communicate. And I think a lot of times I do that. I just need the reciprocation of that respect when I communicate certain things. Right? Now the duality of that, going to what Ali just said, because there is duality in that. The duality in that is that the responsibility on my end is setting clear boundaries, right? And upholding those clear boundaries. Because I also have been a friend that will, just continue to say yes, yes, yes to other things. Mm-hmm. Even when I may already know that if I put that load on me, it's gonna be a little bit too much, right? But I'm creating healthy boundaries for myself, and I've been learning more and more to say no.
Nah, you definitely been pushing the no button, my guy. Let me ask you this, and I know this is a little off script from where we were supposed to go today, but I think it's valuable. And I don't know if you can answer this yet, but you gave this example of like how you show up as a strong friend and what that looks like to you in terms of execution. And you said that that's not always reciprocated, right? Is that something that you desire? And I'm not asking specifically from us, I'm just saying in general, because I'm trying to learn you more. Like, do you desire for people to show up for you in the way that you show up for them?
No, I don't desire for people to show up for me the way that I show up for them, because I have the understanding that everybody's capacity is different. Everybody's container, right, looks different. We're all designed different. We're all built different, right? And so I don't have an expectation for anybody else to show up for me the way that I show up for people. Does it feel good, or would it feel good? Of course. Everybody wants to be cared on. Everybody wants to be checked in on. Everybody wants, for somebody to touch base with them, right? And show them a little bit of love, quote unquote. It would feel great, but I don't have an expectation. And I think that, as you say that, I'm thinking, I don't know if that is me naturally or if I've been conditioned
to that, yep,
in that way. Mm-hmm. I really don't know the answer to that, right? But where I am, I just keep my head down and I continue to grind. I continue to move forward. So I don't really know the answer to that part, but I don't have an expectation. What I will say is just recently, because, you were talking about how there were a lot of conversations that were had after episode 1, or part 1 of this conversation. A lot of, I would say, tough conversations, but needed conversations. Yusha and I have had a lot of conversations since then that I truly believe have brought forth a lot of growth in our personal relationship. Like, we were able to plant some real seeds that I believe that are going to grow and sustain for the future. And I will say in this space, I appreciate Yusha for showing up for me. Yusha pulled up on me when I was at my house this past week doing some construction work by myself. And he assisted. You know what I mean? That's not something that I asked for. It's not something that I expected. I wasn't even looking for because I was in there doing it by myself. But he looked out for me and showed me love, and I appreciate it.
Hey, so
Romance,
I really wanted to hop on this because Sean, I've been knowing you for a long time. And as long as I've known you, you've always said exactly what you said. I'm the strong friend. I'm the one who calls. I'm the one who checks in. But I don't expect that from nobody else. And I didn't get respect out of your conversation. I got reciprocity. And even though you don't expect it, reciprocity is what you should do. Right? So what I feel like you ultimately are asking for, in addition to the respect, is reciprocation of respect, right? Of the things that you're saying that you need. I think what I also think you're doing good at is clarifying and communicating what you need. I think if we're friends, to your point about I know my friends, right? You can kind of also kind of identify some things you need without you necessarily having to say it. However, right, just like me, I do think you're a complex individual. You're not as simple as you appear to be or make it seem, right? When you say, I'm not beyond reproach and all that other stuff, right? Doesn't mean you're not complex in your movement, in your actions, and in your thoughts, right? It just takes some listening, right, to what you're saying. I do want to say that right. Sometimes when you mention clarity and transparency, right, to the receiver, and I just said it, right. It isn't always transparency and clarity isn't always received that way when you're speaking, right? And I'm an example of it, right? So even though you may say I'm being very clear in what I need, you may feel like you're being clear, but I still may be very unclear, right? And I just come from a space of, and y'all know this, I come from a space of just saying what it is, right? And I know we're getting there. And I'm gonna say like this: if I say I'm doing some construction at work, at home, I don't have an expectation, but I damn sure would, like you said, would fucking love for somebody to show up because I don't know I'm not a construction worker, right? But I know I got to get some shit done at the house. So, and right to your point about being a strong person in your community, just not being a strong friend, because I kind of rebuke what you just said, because strength is different in different ways. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm asking you to release this mindset about being a strong person in this particular space, because we all have strength. You just identified what you should, right? About what it looks like to be the strong friend in this community. And I'm gonna just stop there because I'm getting emotional about it. But is we all have this strength about this relationship that brings super value if we are being so real with ourselves in terms of what it is that we needed to be reciprocated and very clear. Just be patient in it. So I'm gonna just stop. But yeah,
I value that so much, Ali. I value that because you talked about us thinking that we're clear, and it may not be clear to other people. And I also want us to be mindful that we ain't always clear on what we need. We may be clear on what we think it is, but even with us, sometimes our needs, our emotions, what we really need is deeper than what we've seen yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the relatability of Sean saying respect and you saying, well, after your explanation, I see reciprocity. And it doesn't mean that Sean don't want respect, but it's also like, now that's a little deeper, So it's sometimes it's having the conversation about what you're feeling which allows us to peel back the onions or layers to get down to what you truly need. Because what you may communicate may be your way of communicating what you think you need, but your true feelings and needs are deeper than that for you. And you ain't got there yet. And so, you know, that was my communication when we had post conversation about the episode was like, hey, you know, leading with what you're feeling allows for curiosity and discovery of how to better serve and love, right? Versus how we can sometimes do is we come out with conclusionary statements that don't give space for curiosity and discovery and investigation about what happened and how people felt. The other reason why I think that's super positive is because when and I'm guilty of it too, when you have the aspect that you're the strong friend, we don't get the true strength of friendship. We don't get the true strength of this connection without the deeper levels of vulnerability. And that's different for everybody, right? So here's a deeper level of vulnerability example. Ali, his space is a vulnerable thing for him. But now we've gotten to the point in relationship where he's now giving me the green light to pull up. But that wasn't it earlier, you know what I'm saying? So I might pull up with the watermelon, depending on the weekend. I might pull up with the watermelon, and when I put up with the watermelon, he actually might be doing some construction work, and now I can help. But that wouldn't have been able to happen last year because
great point.
That space hadn't got there yet. You know, if I even relate to Sean, I called Sean to see what he was doing, and he told me he had some stuff going on. You know, it wasn't like an invitation to come through. He kind of gave me like, I got to do this. And so I was like, but nigga, are you at the house? He's like, yeah. Like, well, I'm pulling up.
Right.
And that's because I'm now having to learn that I got to push past my friends thinking what space needs to be created for me to show up for them. And it's like, nah, nigga, I'm pulling. And that came with conversation as being like, Ali being like pulling up, me using a pull-up theory from Ali to be like, well, Sean, if you're at the house, I don't care if you work, I'm going to pull up anyway. It turns into you needed this hand. So it's like sometimes when you think you're the strong friend, for all of us, when we think we're the strong friend, and it may be true, but when we think we are, we also create barriers for people to be able to support us in different ways. Can you always call you, Sean, and check in on you? Yeah, you always open to a call and check in. But call and check in wasn't gonna hold that drywall up.
Yeah, you know what's funny, because also, I just want to give credit to what you said was that you at capacity. So in the same breath of saying you at capacity and not having an expectation for your brothers to help, to me sounds, in the light of being a strong friend, in the light of being a strong person, right? What we do is saying, yeah, I'm cool, I got it, right? But you're at capacity and you got a brother, right, who, you know what I'm saying? So you saying some real shit. And Sean, I heard you in the capacity part, right? So I think it's all for us to like listen and reciprocate and be intentional about, you know, what this is and what's needed. So, hey, but Colin, you ain't do you.
Collaborate.
I ain't gonna do myself. Y'all gotta do me.
Wow. So we're gonna take a break and we'll be back after this scheduled pause. So thank you. We're back after this scheduled pause, and now we're going to get on to talking about Colin and what he needs from this space, which is collaboration.
Hey, we're back.
Not for us to get on him.
It's crazy work.
Yeah. Wow, boy. Wow.
We're back from this scheduled pause.
So
go ahead, Sean. No, Sean, you need to go ahead, since you Mr. Cleo, the psychic. You know everything. Tell us what Colin meant by collaboration.
Well, I mean, I think we got to, if I remember correctly, we got to collaboration from Colin essentially saying first that he needed accountability, and then I think that was clarified in that the question was not necessarily what do you need to bring within this space is what do you need from this space,
Mm-hmm.
which is how it then morphed into collaboration. Where, correct me if I'm wrong, Colin, but you thrive in spaces where you are able to bounce ideas, where you're able to bounce thoughts, where you're able to hear different perspectives, and have not necessarily several chefs in the kitchen, quote unquote, but a chef with a sous chef, right? A chef with a kitchen manager, other people that can see different perspectives and bring a holistic picture. That is the place where you thrive.
Yeah.
So I hear two things, Colin. That one, we often push each other to say, hey man, you go do this and then show up with this done. But that's not how you function best. How you function best is we doing things together, and because you get those reflected ideas. But what I also hear, just through experience of us being here, is that when we are diving through new things or discovering new things or being curious about new things, that you want all information, right? You're pulling. So there's been times where you asking for more information or leaning into more information before making a sound decision has not been favored, or it's been rejected. But what you're saying is that's part of my process, is to see every side of the coin, to get all the information before I make a decision. That's part of what I need, which is collaboration, but it's also like, yo, I need y'all to honor my decision-making process. It's not that I don't want to make decisions. It's my decision-making process happens through sharing collaboratively all of the different sides, allowing me to synthesize and then coming to a decision.
Yeah, so yes, when we talk about specific to decision making, that is how collaboration would play a role. That's not the entirety when I say collaboration, but that's definitely an aspect of it in that space, in that regard, for sure.
So what is it?
At least like, so what's it? So that's how collaboration would look when we talk about my decision making process. If we're talking about, we're doing a project or an event together or something like that, like the way I work in teams and collaborate is like, we're gonna do that part together and plan collaboratively and have our different functions, and then everybody's gonna have their piece of the pie that they're gonna work on and bring back to the team, and we're gonna share, like that, that thing. And maybe even if I get down to the root of like what season we were in when we started, before the podcast, when we started just jumping on Zooms together during COVID, maybe there's a little piece of like quality time hidden up under that collaboration too, and just me needing these moments of like
Bromance.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead. Embrace it. You should. Thank you. Just these moments of bromance, man. It's just hop on here and get some quality time with a guy.
Say, yeah.
But can we coin another terminology, man, since we supposed to be transgenders? Like,
Bromance just fits so perfectly. Why does bromance? Why can't bromance be? What's the word you use? Because I'm not transgender. Whatever you just said. Did Ali not just say transgender?
He did.
Thank you.
You said transcendent, man.
Oh, transcendent. My bad.
That's how I know you're not. See, that's what alphas. You're supposed to understand.
That's what he said.
Right?
I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening. My bad.
That's what I'm saying.
But what's wrong with bromance? That's a masculine term, I think.
I think you're pushing the envelope.
Yeah. Hey, so I also honestly, I thought of it in a way where Sean almost packaged it in terms of his capacity and your capacity, and why you need collaboration in this space, because you know what I'm saying, your cup is running over in certain spaces, in which you kind of like articulate it in more ways than another. And that, I need accountability, which translates to Sean's point, right? I need some collaboration to help balance things out.
All of that. Help balance things out, help hold me accountable, all of the things. I just thrive in community, man.
For sure. So we've talked about it, right? So recap. You've identified what you meant by trust. I've identified what I meant by listen. Colin we just wrapped it up on collaboration, and Sean on respect. So it's clear, right? The recipes for elevation in this friendship is trust, listen, collaboration, and respect. I think that's not too far off from our pillars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think what I'm getting from this is that this is new, right? And with anything new, there's always going to be some, and you talked about it, Sean, in the last episode about storming, right? And I think as long as we're patient, giving grace, listening, trusting, collaborating, and respecting each other, man, we're going to keep elevating ourselves in this space and giving people what they need.
Hey, fellas, have you been MIA? Has one of your friends been MIA? You know, as men, sometimes it's hard for us to check on each other because we don't quite know what questions to ask. Well, it's time for us to check in on our friends, especially the ones we think are strong and got it all together. So today on our episode, in our community spotlight, we'll spotlight Safe Haven Therapy on Instagram at safehaven_therapy, led by CEO Deshaun Harris, who developed in his therapy practice some cards for us to check in with our strong friend. These cards are called conversation card game. Hey friend, are you okay? And these are cards, questions you can use to tap in with your friends, see where they are today, what they're dealing with, what they're experiencing, how they're processing their healing. Look, this has been really good for us. As you can see, we're using it in our episode, and we suggest that y'all reach out to safehaven_therapy on Instagram, get you a set of these cards, and tap in with your strong friends, because we be acting like we okay, but fellas, we know what it is. So tap in, safehaven_therapy on Instagram.
All right, cool. I'm going to draw one randomly out the bunch. First question is, Strong Friends Edition. What's an area of your life where you like to see more growth?
Hey.
Go ahead, Ali. You go first. Hey.
What's an area in my finances? Always. My finances and my health, man. My physical health. I've lost some weight during the pandemic, which was good, but I'm ready to gain my muscle mass back. So my physical health and appearance, and always my finances.
Cool. Pick somebody.
Let me go, Mr. Entertainer at Night.
Bruh. Entertainment producer at night. God.
But I do some really good things at night.
That don't mean you don't produce some things at night, but
I mean, you know, at my house with my wife, all kind of parties and shows going on.
Here we
go. For public consumption, we throw parties, comedy shows, etc. All right, what was the question? What
is an area of your life where you like to see more growth?
More growth in my life.
Say parties, free golf.
Man, right now I would like to see maturity in my friends, especially Ali. No, I'm joking. But right now in this season, man, spiritual, which I know is like a season you always growing in. But as of lately, man, just getting off of my routine, and which has also gotten me off of my spiritual routine, my prayer routine, my fast routine, and I feel the distance. Right now. So I've been intentionally the past few days tapping back in so I can grow in that area. Yep. I'll pass to Sean.
I would say family. So I recently, on one side of my family, we recently had a family reunion, which was great. We are at a place now where essentially my generation, in addition to the generation above me, will be taking over effectively moving forward, but just continuing to maintain that connectivity, right? Going deeper in understanding who we are, where we're from, and who our family is, right? Getting to know each other more by maintaining that bond. On my other side of the family, I actually went over to one of my cousins' houses yesterday, and my intention, which I actually was only there for maybe an hour, but my intention was to only be there for that amount of time because of the fact that I had construction work that I had to do on my house, right? So I came back to do some work, but then also prepping for today. But when I was there, he said something to me that kind of illuminated what I'm saying right now and the importance of family, where I explained to him the reason why I was leaving. And he was like, man, even though you have stuff to do, like you still got to be able to make time for family.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it hit me to my core. Like, this is like my cousin that you are over their house every single weekend to the point where your parents are like, look, that's enough. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to take a break. Y'all need to chill. Like, this is that cousin. But as I think about it, my kids and his kids are growing up without knowing each other the way that we knew each other, right? And so just family, that's my area.
That's real.
Yusha.
Mine's gonna be capacity, and that's really based off the conversation we had yesterday morning. Because I need growth in all. Like I always want growth in all areas, right? So spiritual for me right now is financial, business, right? I need some business plays to come through. It's relationship. It's my own, health. I got the stuff going on where I got to get this cholesterol lowered. So in every aspect of my life, I want growth right now, continued growth. But I'm realizing, even we talked about it yesterday in our brotherly FaceTime, is in order to get to this next level and to see growth in all those spaces, is capacity. So got to turn up.
Is that word again?
Yeah.
Turn up. All right, let's do one more.
I like these. Let's do one more for sure.
And I want us to note, right, that we're hearing each other, and so it's our responsibility as friends to follow up with each other in these spaces.
So if you heard each other, what we say? Because I wrote it down. What'd I say?
Because greatness takes notes.
Yeah, what'd I say though?
God, the test.
You said it's continue with your finances.
And what else? Yeah,
that's all I heard was finance.
That's accountability. That's what I'm talking about. I said finance and physical. My physical, I want
physical. Oh, you got to work out. But listen, you already know what can happen on Saturday morning if you want to pull up.
One time. I'm hear you. What else? So no, hold on. So Sean,
I'm going to work out.
Sean, what did
No, we're not doing a round robin with everybody, bro. Because because Yusha was the one that said that. Two, because we need to move on. Because we need to move on for the next question.
Send me your notes, bro.
I thought we were supposed to be about our friendship. Fuck the next question. It's supposed to be about who your friend is.
We definitely are about friendship, and that's why we're gonna continue this beyond this recording, right?
I want y'all to see how he was on when he was on. That's how he used to like sidestep a lot of his shit that he was supposed to be on. He used to ask his line, bro. He used to pass the ball, bro.
Boy, get out of here with that. Get out of here with that.
Anyway, all right, go ahead. Do
wow.
Go ahead. We're gonna do whatever half man, half say.
What's a habit you like to develop or break?
These the blue cards? These not the deep ones?
Colin, you first.
Say it again.
What's a habit you would like to develop or break?
Oh, I got one for me.
I want to break the habit of, I don't know how to put this in words, but basically I want to break the habit of being inconsistent. Like that goes like my spiritual health, my physical health, my mental health. Like I'll get to these lows where I'm like, dang, let me lock in. And then I'll lock in and I'll see growth and progression. And then I'll get comfortable or I'll take more attention from there and put it somewhere else. And then I'll end up back in this dip in any one of those areas. And I'm like, dang, let me get back on track with this, right? And so it's just like this lack of consistency. And I would love to just break that habit and just stay here in the good and bad times so I could see longer term benefits in those different areas.
I'll go next. You call me.
Go, Yusha.
I want to break the habit of spending money on food.
Mm.
You know, I used to be real good at meal prep, man, but now, you know, to be somebody who definitely in the space where I need to grow financially and grow my business and go to the next level, I'm spending money on eating out every day.
Right.
And I'm still taking good choices, right? I'm making good choices about what to eat, but it's I ain't prepped, I ain't set up properly, right? I haven't properly planned. And so it may be 3, 4 o'clock. I ain't ate all day because I'm on this fast. I'm only eating in a small window. But then it get to that time and I'm starving and I ain't even really got no energy to cook that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need to go slide by, this black owned vegan spot or this black, you know what I'm saying? Still good choices, but I'm spending money, 15, 20. I spent $40 yesterday randomly on food.
It happens, bro.
I bet a lot of people relate to that.
I gotta stop that shit, man. Sean.
I want to break the habit of overthinking. I think my overthinking prevents me from just being sometimes, and just being intrinsically who I already am. But a lot of times, depending on what I'm dealing with, depending on the space that I'm in, I overthink to a place of even beyond like analysis paralysis. Like I overthink to a space of kind of even forgetting who I am. So I would say that. Ali?
Yeah, there was that was part of what I was gonna say, but I heard what you said. Overthinking can sometimes lead not only to paralysis analysis but imposter syndrome. So we got to be very careful in this space. Thinking so much that it takes you to a place you don't believe who you are and who you say you're gonna do. So I'm holding myself accountable to that, but I'm gonna take it to what you were saying is being paranoid. So after you overthink, right, it leads into paranoia about the decision that you're going to make, right? So, or just being in spaces, right, where I'm paranoid, right, about the people, about the culture, the environment, right. To your point, Sean, that it doesn't allow me to always maintain and be consistent in my actions and in my communication because I'm not sure about the space. I'm not sure about the decision, right? I'm not sure about whatever. So yeah.
I'm learning a lot about y'all. These cards, God dang. What it called? Safe haven.
Safe haven therapy, conversation, the card game, strong friend edition. Hey friend, how are you?
That's dope, man. We gotta put that link up for people that want to tap in with that.
Dope.
All
This
right,
is a black brother as well, right?
Black brother, man.
Cool. You should let's move on, man. We got to get to the Patreon and we got to get to these working and winning people. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, we can move on after you answer the question.
Oh, I thought I just did.
Ali went.
I thought you gave a response to Sean.
Nah, he did. He
did both.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was tied in. Hey, look, we got a recording. We got Greatness Takes Notes. This is our note taker right here.
Let's move on.
A recording, Ali.
Hey, I want to also switch around. One habit I want to develop is cooking, right? And I want to say that to our listeners because sometimes when we think about the habits that we don't want to do, it helps us as we reframe that and then state it as this is the habit I want to pick up. So the habit I want to get rid of is spending money on food, but the habit I need to develop is meal prepping and planning. I also want to give a habit challenge to all my brothers. I am on a mission to get to a 10-minute plank. My goal is to add 5 seconds to the plank that I do every day. So do a plank every day, add 5 seconds to it until I get to 10 minutes.
And you add the habit of listening to, nigga.
No, I need to add the habit of taking notes.
Whatever.
Oh man.
How about that? Working and winning, please.
If you can see, hear, smell, taste, and feel that your body works, and if your body works, you have everything you need to win. In this segment, this particular segment, Working and Winning, this is where we let you know what we're working on, but then we give you what we call a little food for thought to help you win, right? So our work is what we're doing. Our win is some resource, some knowledge, some piece of information that we can give you to help you win in the world of what you're working on. And so let's get to it, man. How you working and winning? Let's go. I really want to do some listening right now. Go ahead, Ali.
Yo, by the time this episode drop, a lot of things would have happened, right? And one of them is the big, beautiful bill, right? And I recognize that this is not advantageous to everybody, and that's unfortunate. Things happen with transitions to presidents, but like I said in some previous episode, it ain't nothing wrong with a little more money. And so this a big, beautiful bill, right, is going to position a lot of people, right, in certain brackets to do some beautiful things with their money, right? And so what I'm working on right now is positioning my positioning my tax strategies and everything for the next few years, right? My positions and my investments, all of that stuff I'm working on. And the win, right? Just not too long ago during the 4th of July, I found out on Independence Day that Uncle Sam about to give his brother some money back. Pew, 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 pew. So yeah, man. That's my win, man. Keep working on them finances. Keep working on them health, though. I'm going to pass it to Mr. Half Man, Half Amazing.
All right. So my working and winning, my work is something that I kind of alluded to, doing some work on my home, but just beyond like the physical construction work, I need to get my house in order. So straightening up, clearing out certain things that, you just don't need to hold on to. Like for any homeowner, anybody that has a home, I'm sure they can attest to how as the years go by and you look at how much you've accumulated, you really ask yourself, like, do I really need this? Because I'm pulling out things that I haven't seen in years. You know what I mean? So it's doing physical construction work that is absolutely needed, but beginning to try to utilize every square foot of my home effectively. Because I thrive off of feng shui, and it's just time for that. My winning is actually I came across a podcast, and so I've been praying for another space, a place where I could grow spiritually and religiously, to fill the void or to supplement the amount of information that I consume, like from different platforms, right? So like specifically like podcasts, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I've been thirsting for something that feeds that religious and spiritual side of me in that space. So now I can start to supplement a lot of the more leisurely podcasts with something that is fruitful, maybe even while I'm working, right? In that, I came across what is called the BEMA podcast, BEMA, and it's hosted by Marty Solomon and Brent Billings, who they describe themselves essentially as a Jew and a Gentile, or a Jew and a non-Jew. But the way that they break down the Bible from front to back, in not only in chronological order, but then also in, breaking it down by chapter, the meaning, the Hebrew meaning of certain words, so on and so forth. It gives so much more context to my growth and my Bible study. So again, that's the BEMA podcast.
That's the dude with the long beard, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, bet. What's happening?
Yep. Absolutely dope. Who went first? Ali?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to pass it to Colin.
All right, folks, I'll be brief. The work is going to be the same work I'm going to be in for the next couple years of my life. I think I mentioned before on here, but I am in my educational doctoral program, and the dissertation is built into the program. So I'll be working on my dissertation and am working on my dissertation for the next few years. And it's the most reading and writing I've probably ever done in my life. It's definitely like a part-time job or a second full-time job. But the work is enjoyable, man, because it's research, and I'm a curious person. I'm researching something that's passionate to me. So I can't wait to share more with you guys as I go through that process. My win, which I can't remember if I mentioned on the recording before, but I'm sure I told you guys. But my win is that I got my son registered for later this month for his baptism. My 13-year-old expressed to me and my wife a while ago that he wanted to get baptized, and we vetted and made sure that he understood what that meant and what he was asking and what his reasoning was, and it was all in his way very logical, and we felt like he was ready, so we got him signed up and registered, man. So that's a win for me, man. It just feels amazing that he wants to take that curious step and continuing to have a better understanding of who God is and who he is in God.
Hey, please let us know when that is, brother.
For sure. Send out the information. You should bring us on.
Click on my calendars, please.
I got
you. Jokes, but the work I'm working on right now. So speaking, teaching, coaching, training, and performing has been the work that I felt like I was sent out here to do. When I left my job in 2022 to go full-time and do what I felt like God was telling me to do. It was really just about creating a space to teach, train, coach people around working and winning. And so as I continue to build out that vision and what it looks like in connection, it's really helping people see that whether I'm presenting for you as an artist, whether I'm serving you as a coach, or whether I'm showing up at your organization or event to do speaking, the whole premise of what I'm doing, the work I'm doing, is helping people work and win with great care, which leads right into the win. For those of you who are looking for a space where you need something that's really taps in on helping you develop the right mindset, accountability, confidence in how you need to move, and then just the truth, an internal truth for those who feel like you were made for more, outside of the What We All Need a podcast, but also connected to the What We All Need a podcast. Every Monday night I will be doing a live, 7 p.m., doing a live called Working and Winning with Great Care. Those lives will then be downloaded and then put on YouTube, and we'll drop that every Thursday morning around 7 a.m. But Working and Winning with Great Care. One, really talking about what it means to work and win, how to operate with great care, and then essentially how to use spiritual laws, and then the context of confidence, advocacy, accountability, growth, and healing to just improve and level up your life. You should heal and elevate the condition of his people. That's how you can win with me. Come work and win with me.
I love it. Hey, Patreon. We getting ready to connect with you guys, man, in a second. We got some more of these cards that's going to push the conversation a little bit deeper. We're going to go through with you guys and tap in a special way. But first, we're going to pray it out. I don't mind. Y'all mind if I pray? If somebody else felt led to pray?
I know I'm going to need you to stop sucking your teeth, but go ahead.
Who sucked their teeth?
God said, let your conversation be yay and nay, so you can't go and pray sucking your teeth.
I was sucking my teeth?
I'm just saying, bro.
Dang, it's a whole lot of... Dang. Okay. I'm going to pray on that note. And then we'll go to Patreon. All right, hearts and minds clear. Heavenly Father, thank you. Just come to you humbly. First of all, just recognizing you and all your greatness and all your glory. As we continue to submit to your way and your will for our lives and not our own. We thank you for just being present in this friendship, in this bond, in this podcast space with us, and continuing to use us in any way you see fit to bring people closer to you, not further away from you. and to show what real friendship, real bonds, transparent bonds, healing, and growth can look like in real time. We ask that you continue to help us grow individually, help us to grow as a unit, and help everyone listening and tapping in, subscribing, et cetera, with us to grow in the ways that we see value in as well. These are always blessed we ask. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
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 In competition, boy, I know your strengths. I can star on your team, play support on your bitch. I'ma rock with you forever, bro, that's what makes sense. You know, been tested, you showed up in the trench. Ain't no fake love between us, cause we don't get at an inch. Peace king for life, that's how we work and we win. Real friends. Real friends. Where would I be without my, Hey son, who gon' ride for me like my day one?